I'm here at my brother's house today and we are going to make some wild hog sausage. Now do keep in mind that the wild hog used in this video was humanely caught and humanely dispatched. We're doing a breakfast sausage today. We're going to do it a little bit spicier than we usually do, but it's not too spicy. It's definitely not what I would consider a hot sausage.
Hey everybody!
Ollie. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on packaging and freezing as well. Just some things that we've learned over doing lots and lots of deer and pork and processing our own meat over the years. So stay tuned. Now we're just going to cut up our bacon fat. We used bacon this time because we couldn't find pork trimmings from our butcher. They said they didn't have any at this time, so we just decided to use bacon. Now if you have just pork meat and it's not already ground, ours was already ground because we processed it a couple months prior, but if you do have just pork meat, you'll grind it with your bacon instead of having to mix it up next, which is what we have to do. One tip for grinding the pork fat or bacon is that you pop it in the freezer, not until it's frozen, but just to make it a little bit more solid. And once it's super, super, super cold, you can run it through the grinder. Then it'll run through the grinder just fine without sticking. Now I'm just mixing up our seasonings here, and hindsight is 20/20, and we didn't consider the fact that the bacon had a lot of salt content in it as well, so we probably added a little bit too much salt. It was not inedible by any means. It was still really, really good, but it was a little saltier than we usually do. So I'm going to put the recipe in the description box, and I will put our modified recipe for bacon as well. And I'm just mixing in the seasoning in 3 parts so it mixes in well and evenly. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and patty up one for us to try. We're going to get that rendered down and give it a taste. And like I said, it was a little saltier than it probably should have been, but it was still really, really, really delicious. And now we're making up our bags for packaging here. We like to make up all our bags at once. I like to go ahead and label them all with the date and what's in them before we start putting it in there, because once you put it in there, it's kind of hard to write on it because it's so cold. Is my little technique that I use for packaging anything ground. You just take the package and roll it until you get to the corners and get it all rolled out. Once you vacuum seal it, it'll get a lot of the air out, and then once it's vacuum sealed, then you flatten the package. And we flatten the package because it fits a lot better in the freezer that way instead of having a lot of rolls. The recipe we used today made 11 pounds, 11 packages of breakfast sausage to pop in the freezer. So much for watching today. If you have not already, please do go check out my channel, subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any in the future. We will see you in the next one. Bye.